We had the latest this morning on the Hill Country flooding disaster. Kerr County confirms 107 deaths from the flooding on July 4th. 97 people are still missing. The county says the missing list is fluctuating because of hotline reporting victims, recovery efforts, and the outreach to those that were initially reported missing. The memorial wall in Kerrville is also rapidly growing. Every day, more flowers are added, more pictures or mementos of the victims. It's become a place to both mourn and honor those people, and everyone shows up from locals to volunteers.
Our other staff members that are here, they're not belong to Kerrville, but they're here helping, and they come and visit the wall afterwards. And I think that's been, a great way to grieve for what's been going on. It's really tough when you see the faces, and sometimes you don't have faces to know what you're doing.
One man named Leo Soto from Miami built that wall after the floods. Soto lost a friend in the flooding, so it's personal for him like it is for so many. This is the 6th memorial wall, by the way, that he's created for victims of tragedies. Search and rescue crews have been in start and stop mode in Ingram because of the rain we saw the last few days. News 4's Taylor Wartenby now with more on what crews are dealing with as they continue searching for those who are missing.
After a 2-day pause due to new flooding, search efforts resumed in Ingram. Boat teams were out on the Guadalupe River assessing the safety of the river, giving them the green light to continue their search. Since the devastating floods on July 4th, it's been all hands on deck. For crews in Ingram, they are basically starting again, going back over areas that had been searched last week, covering miles of riverbank. Most of the work being done by hand.
We've going through checking brush piles by hand, searching on foot. There is some heavy equipment that, conditions allowing, we'll get back down in there and start trying to sift through the debris piles and the deposits. And in what has become a recurring theme, neighbors helping neighbors. These volunteers from San Antonio also helping with cleanup efforts in Ingram.
Myself and about probably 15 or 20 of the group that he's with are helping us clean out a business, and he's moving his business into downtown Kerrville, so we're literally cleaning the floors and everything inside of it.
Assessing just what people have lost is a daunting task. Clint Orms is turning his engraving shop into a makeshift lost and found, where personal items that are found in the debris can be taken and sorted.
Also, I've offered it to the state, and Tatum has come to look at it, and I think they're making preparations on several locations to have lost and founds and all kinds of things.
In terms of volunteering in the search for victims, officials with the Ingram Volunteer Fire Department say they are accepting volunteers with fire, EMS, law enforcement, or military training and certifications. In Ingram, I'm Taylor Wartenby reporting.
Search efforts also continue near Canyon Lake. Crews have been looking along Rebecca Creek Road where that river feeds into the lake. Now, we spoke to a Wisconsin task force team, which is a group of 16 people that make up a swiftwater rescue team and then another 5-person canine team. They came to Texas to help to try and offer answers and comfort to the families of the victims.
We mark that in the system. That goes back up to command, and then they assign crews to come back in and do a more targeted search in those areas of interest.
We also asked if Comal County Sheriff's deputies are helping with those searches. The answer now is no, but they say they can deploy if they are asked to. In Center Point, search crews are also dealing with rain, and that's made their search efforts a mess as well. Dive teams say they are going through the river bottom, looking layer by layer for victims. The problem here is that the rain makes the water murky, and that, of course, makes it tough to see.
The visibility, they told me, is about 2 inches. And some parts of the river is just the surface is completely log jammed with debris.
The Kerr County Sheriff's on record is saying it could take up to 6 months to find the people that are still missing. Also there in Center Point, a special needs camp is opening its gates again, and a new crop of campers is bringing hope to a community still rebuilding. It's called Camp, which serves children and adults with special needs. Well, it shut down because of the flooding, but now it is among the first camps to reopen there in Center Point despite suffering some major damage to its campgrounds. Susan Osborne is the camp CEO. She says it's been an emotional time watching volunteers show up to help restore what was damaged.
It was so heartwarming to just see people that had never heard of camp before, and some of them even in this area that didn't know we were here, to show up at our gates and say, they wanted to work, and rolled up their sleeves and made it happen.
Camp leaders say they aren't just focused on their rebuilding, but they're also offering to help other camps that are struggling to reopen as well. Meanwhile, the Uvalde County Office of Emergency Management has updates on both the Frio and the Nueces rivers. The rain Monday was much needed, and although there was some flooding, officials say that was nothing out of the ordinary. In fact, no injuries were reported. The officer also sharing thoughts and prayers for those affected by the flooding there along the Guadalupe. And take a look at this. The rain revived and has revived Medina Lake, which is now filled with water. So this is a view from your South Texas Ford dealer Sky 4. We are told the lake went from 2% to about 5.2% full. This time lapse released by the United States Geological Survey right here shows that water rising. And as we head to commercial break, if you are volunteering in the searches, the city of Kerrville wants you to sign up for emergency alerts. Just text Kerr together to the number 888-777. Well, a new poll shows that more than half of Americans think that lives could have been saved in the Texas floods, and many think the governor's response could have been better, said the government's response. The Economist and YouGov surveyed more than 1,600 adults from July 11th through July 14th, so just a couple of days ago. 52% of people say that most deaths could have been prevented if the government had been better prepared. There was a partisan divide, with 74% of Democrats and 53% of independents saying the deaths were avoidable, compared to just 28% from Republicans. The poll also asked people how they believe the government responded. 38% said the response was poor. 14% said it was excellent. As for President Trump, 42% say his response was poor, while 21% say it was excellent. The Texas Health and Human Services Commission is awarding nearly $2 million in emergency funding to hospitals in Kerrville and Llano. That grant comes from the Texas Health and Human Services Commission. The Peterson Regional Medical Center in Kerrville is getting more than $1 million, and all the money should help hospitals cover unplanned expenses that were due to the flooding. That would include damage done to structures, equipment, and staffing issues. By the way, tickets to that George Strait benefit concert have been sold out. The Straight to the Heart Intimate Dinner and Concert that's Sunday, July 27th in Bernie. 1,000 tickets were sold. They're done. Strait did thank everyone who bought the tickets. They are still accepting donations online as well. And nearly 24 dogs from Texas have arrived in Chicago. PAW's Chicago Disaster Relief Team is teaming up with local organizations to take the pets that were already in shelters before the flooding. Over the next couple of weeks, those dogs will be getting the medical care and the vaccinations they need before they eventually find their forever home. Those are cute.
Supporting those affected by the floods in Central Texas. There's nothing that he's doing around this that is surprising to me, because that's who he is.
It's a small gesture making a huge statement. That tie right there is the focus of this story. So that's Texas Longhorn safety Michael Taff. He's the Boy Scout on UT's football team. He's gone from a walk-on to an All-American, and he is first class both on and off the field. So it was no surprise when he said very little, but made the biggest news yesterday at the SEC Media Days. Wore that tie right there that was a little out of the ordinary. There's a whole bunch of letters there on it, and he was asked about it. So here's what it means.
This is the initials of all the victims at Camp Mystic that passed away. All the girls, the counselors, and then the camp director, Dick Eastland. And I just wanted to show light to what's going on in Texas, because, you know, football is cool, but this is real life, and this is way more important than football. And so I wanted everybody around the country to know what Texas is dealing with and how I can give back.
I don't care who you root for. That kid that's awesome. As we head into the break, we want to let you know News 4 is teaming up with the Salvation Army for Sinclair Care's Texas Tragedy Relief. So far that you have helped us raise more than $81,000. We are accepting donations, though, still. So if you can and would like to help, scan the QR code to provide meals to survivors and first responders. A memorial keeps growing for the victims of flooding there in Kerr County. News 4's Christina DeLeon is live in Kerrville this morning with a look at the Wall of Hope. Christina, good morning.
Good morning, David. Good morning, everyone. I want to show you this wall of hope, and it keeps growing. We're live on Water Street, and look how beautiful it is. This memorial in Kerrville rapidly growing here on Water Street. You can see the tributes just lining up along Water Street here. It is rapidly growing with these tributes, flowers, mementos, balloons, everything you can imagine, even a poster here saying River of Angels. It is simply hard to keep track. Now, every single day, more and more people are adding flowers, pictures, other mementos of the people who lost their lives in the floods, everything from stuffed animals to even personal notes. Some people we spoke to at this memorial say everyone from locals to volunteers have come to pay their respects.
Other staff members that are here, they're not belong to Kerrville, but they're here helping, and they come and visit the wall afterwards. And I think that's been, I think, great way to grieve for what's been going on. It's really tough when you see the faces, and sometimes you don't have faces to know what you're doing.
Yeah, it is a very beautiful tribute. In fact, there is so much of this this wall left, basically, so there is so much more left to grow out here. It's located on Water Street in the heart of the city, and anyone and everyone is welcome to take part in this tribute of the lives lost or those who are still missing. Reporting live in Kerrville, I'm Christina De Leon.
A reminder, the San Antonio Food Bank and San Angelo Food Banks are organizing emergency food and resource distribution events for flood victims. The next one is this Saturday. It's in Kerrville at the Presbyterian Church there on Jefferson Street. Starts at 9 a.m., goes for a couple of hours. You can register there on site. Just show up early. A reminder, food will be available while supplies last. Governor Greg Abbott says the Texas Workforce Commission is now accepting applications for disaster unemployment benefits because of the recent flooding. You can apply for benefits online through Unemployment Benefit Services or call the TWC at the number right there, 800-939-6631. You can call between 8 and 6 Monday through Friday. Applications for benefits have to be submitted by September 4th. The city of Kerrville reminding folks who need to rebuild there are steps you need to take before you fix any sort of damage that's happened to your property there. News 4's Tarney Davis now live at the Content Center with those details this morning. Tarney, good morning.
Good morning. The City of Kerrville's Building Department and Planning and Development Services Department are reminding residents and business owners that permits are still required for any repair work associated with recent flood damage. However, they are making an exception by waiving all permit fees for flood-related repairs. The city says obtaining the property permits ensures the repair work meets building safety standards and helps protect homeowners and the community from potential future hazards. These are especially crucial for electrical, structural, and plumbing repairs. There will be no cost for the flood-related permits, but they still need to be obtained before any repair work begins. Keep in mind, this waiver is only applied to repairs directly associated with flood damage that is documented. Officials say they understand the challenges residents are facing in the wake of this flooding, and waiving permits is just one way that they are supporting recovery while making sure repairs are done safely and are up to code. Now, to apply for a flood damage repair permit or for more information, residents are asked to contact the City of Kerrville's Development Services at 830-258-1514 or visit mygovernmentonline.org. Reporting live in the Content Center, I'm Tawny Davis.